Welcome to Your View with me, Nkgopotse JJ Tabane. Tonight we're coming to you from Addis Ababa in Ethiopia on the sidelines of the African Union Summit. A very, very special summit taking place here in Ethiopia because South Africa is going to be taking over as chairperson of the African Union for the next 12 months. But it's also taking over something called the African Peer Review Mechanism. And South Africa elected this weekend through its president Cyril Ramaphosa to actually head up the APRM for the next 2 years. The APRM, very, very interesting, launched 17 years ago to assist African leaders to review each other's performance, or to review the challenges that are facing their different countries. And the underline there is peer review, so to review by your peers. And we know that Africans have a tendency not to listen to their peers, but they also have a tendency not to talk to their peers. I mean, we've got Museveni. He's one of the most irritating African leaders. He's been in power forever, and he has simply lost it, right? You know that if you are gay or lesbian in Uganda, you can't see the light of day. It's one of the most backward things in the 21st century, that you would want to tell your citizens who to sleep with, how to conduct their sexual affairs. It's so backward, I don't have the words. Because Museveni thinks it's all right, you know, prancing around. He was here even in the inauguration of President Ramaphosa here, being treated like a VIP. When at home, he's a bloody bigot. And of course, he didn't pitch for the African Peer Review Mechanism meeting, and was supposed to actually deliver a paper, because the African leaders still take him very, very seriously, which puts a big question mark on the so-called peer review mechanism. Very successful so far, with over 38 countries signing up to be reviewed. Let's talk about Mugabe, for example, who did horror stories to his people, especially in the latter days of his governance, and people across the fence, like South Africa, wouldn't tell him that he's out of order. He had to take Botswana to try and put up his hand, and Botswana became very unpopular for that. But collectively, SADC has failed to peer review Mugabe, and I'm glad that in this summit, and ahead of this summit, Mnangagwa, who's the successor to Mugabe, has signed up Zimbabwe to be peer reviewed. And one therefore waits with bated breath whether the first review report of Zimbabwe would tell us that people are queuing for bread, man. They're queuing for fuel. They're queuing for steak. They are starving. The economy is in shambles. Will that report have the courage to say that? Because that's what's happening. We had the leader of the opposition here, Nelson Chamisa, 2 weeks ago, telling us horror stories that are happening in Zimbabwe. And ironically, President Mbeki was out there trying to help. Could have done better when he was in charge, when he was in power, to actually help Zimbabwe. Ironically, South Africa is now going into its second review of peer review mechanism report. And we're waiting with bated breath to see whether that report will also be slightly more honest about the 55% unemployment, rather poverty levels, 30% unemployment rate, the fledgling economy, the stagnant growth, and all of the unattended problems of corruption and wasteful expenditure and all of these things. Can this report just tell us the truth, man? Oh, it's peer review, man. Big English, peer review. 38 countries have signed. You'll hear Jackson Mthembu at the bottom of his hour telling us how good the peer review has been. But why don't they just tell Museveni that he's a bigot? Why was a millennium, man? Anyway, interesting that he sent a report, in this report he was supposed to write a paper about what is called 13 bottlenecks. 13 bottlenecks that are delaying Africa's development. And amongst them, he talks about ideological, wobbliness or something to that effect. And he also talks about the disrespect of diversity. Can you believe it? Please tell me somebody else wrote this paper for him, because he wasn't there. So, someone from his country to read it for him. I wanted to see in his face when he talks about the lack of diversity, poor infrastructure, all the things you can describe Uganda on. Straight face. Museveni. 13 bottlenecks. What is the bottleneck to diversity? He is actually the bottleneck for other leaders to be able to tell him in his face that, sorry, chief, in this day and era now, there's something called human rights. You can't tell people who to sleep with, man. I'm using this as an example of saying there's a big potential of African peer review. Because once your own colleagues tell you, once your circle of friends tell you, hey, chief, you're out of order, you have nowhere else to run to. And that, for me, was the nub of the issue. That instead of Western powers and IMF and whoever else, World Bank, telling you that you are busy making your people to suffer, like next door neighbor, you listen better. Right? But then we need to stop being polite. Just recently, I don't talk about examples of far away, just recently, few weeks ago, the Deputy President of the Republic was asked in Parliament, or rather he's saying about the oppression of Museveni. I don't remember exactly what he said, but to paraphrase him, he basically says that's none of your business. Street. DA was busy, thumping, stomping its feet and what have you. No. It's none of our business. Uganda is a sovereign country. That's what we're right there. And that is the problem. The problem is we want to be nice to each other. At what point do they tell each other, you are messing up, man. Your people are migrating. I mean, look at Zimbabwe. How many years did it take, for the other leaders just to say, 4 million people, Mugabe, what's Habile go country now? Instead, they praise him. But what legal legacy Mugabe Mugabe was a mess. Mara is true. And we're not saying he didn't struggle, no, he did those things. But these leaders, once they're in power, once they're surrounded by bodyguards, the parent, the scooter, the last 20 years, 98. Therefore, a former liberator becoming an oppressor, and it's happening too much in the continent. I'm here in these hallowed chambers where they smile at each other, where they pat each other in the back, or hey chief, you are a great leader, you are His Excellency. His Excellency. When your people are starving, what is excellent about it? When your people are living in poverty, what is so excellent about it? When your people are queuing for bread, should you really be called excellency? Who excellent as man? Who excellent as man? But babula getala. No. His Excellency, honorable this, honorable that. Where there's no honor left amongst them, none whatsoever. But in the midst of all of that chaos, this peer review mechanism is a hope for Africa. And if you are a leader of a country, of the balance of this 55, because only 38 have signed, you must ask yourself the question. Also, when you don't want to be reviewed by your peers. But of course, if you are those who are rewriting constitutions, those who are ascending to power through military coups and using military juntas, you are those who cannot even find their children who are stuck in forests, then of course you enjoy Nigeria. Because you are messing up in your own country. So if we examine closely who has not joined this mechanism, you will get your answers. You'll get answers in the cries of women and children in these countries who are carrying their possessions on their heads, crossing borders to run away from people who once were their liberators. Africa, we're going to have to do something more drastic than patting each other on the back.